Everyone for coming along today. So this is our District 73 Ride Our Wave conference. I'd like to first thank Richard E. Peck for coming along. He's in Qatar at the moment and it's bright and early. Thank you for coming along and experiencing our conference with us virtually. We have an action-packed conference ready with 4 speech contests, a keynote and a workshop from Richard, and then an exciting Ride Our Wave dinner tonight. I hope you have your costume ready. I definitely do. For those who registered early, your official conference mug should have arrived. So you'll have something like this, but if you registered more recently, it should be on the way. We also sent out a nice letter. You would have received that from our Program Quality Director, Namrita Anchen. And these couple of things will just help us connect over the weekend as we connect virtually in this conference. As you can see, we have official conference backgrounds, and I encourage you to add yours as well. I'll put a link in the chat to all of those, to the whole welcome pack. As you can see, we've got this red one. This is for the conference team. So if you have any questions, just come and ask us. As you can see, Namrita's got one as well. So just ask us any questions. We've also got a few other cool ones. For example, we've got this one. This is a classic one that we'll all have. There is also a video one as well. As you can see, we get to see the waves move. Just imagine seeing all of us with this. You see all the waves going between each of the videos. We also have a first timer Zoom background. So if you're a first timer, definitely chuck this one on. It's a nice little thing, give you a little thing down in the corner there. So I've got a few cool backgrounds. I definitely encourage you to get involved in those. Now we're keen for you to engage on social media. So the easiest way I think is for the District 73 Facebook group. So just chuck any photos you have in there and then have a bit of engagement through that. I hope you have a fantastic time and I can't wait to see you throughout the conference as we celebrate all we've achieved this year. Thanks for that. I'll hand over now to our contest chair, Vicky Travers.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the District 73 Table Topics contest. I am, as it says on my screen, Vicky Travers, and I will be your contest chair for this morning in the Table Topics contest. Table Topics, as you all know, is an opportunity for people to think and speak on their feet and come up with an answer to a topic that they have no idea of until they're introduced at the Table Topics contest. And this is a skill that we practice regularly in our Toastmasters meetings. Today, and I'll give this first, today there are 8 contestants in this contest and the speaking order is: speaker number 1 is Elaine Doyle. Speaker number 2 is Thomas Moore. Speaker number 3 is Shayla Brunskill. Speaker number 4 is Vinod Nanjaya. Speaker number 5 is Jackson Green. Speaker number 6 is Fiona Price. Speaker number 7 is Lindy Woodburn. And speaker number 8 is Monica Wong. And Sue has kindly put those names into the chat box so you can get it there. Okay. The speaking area as defined for the contest is the field of view, what you can see in front of in front of your screen, and the contestants are aware of that. And the contestants are aware of what their speaking order is, either moving back or forward. We ask that you remain muted and keep your videos off for the duration of the contest, and that's to prevent any unnecessary distractions to the contestants or the judges. The contest is being recorded, as I said, and that will be available later on. No one will be admitted into the room while the contestants are speaking. And if you are disconnected from the room during the contest, you will be readmitted to the contest during the minute of silence between contestants. The chief judge for this contest is Sue Pederick, and the timers, counters, and ushers have been briefed. Chief Judge, are you ready to proceed? We're just check. Yep.
Yes, I am ready. Thank you.
Okay, we'll go for the contest Oh, Graham, as the Zoom master, could you please place all the contestants and the usher in the breakout room?
I certainly can. Just a moment.
Except the first contestant.
Except Elaine. Yep.
We don't want them going anywhere.
All righty. The contestants have left the room and the usher.
Okay. Get myself. Contestant number 1 is Elaine Doyle. Elaine, would you like to test your audio, please?
Yes, I can see you and see the timer, and hope you can see and hear me.
Yes, we can. Elaine Doyle, your topic is in the middle of every difficulty lies opportunity. In the middle of every difficulty lies opportunity, Elaine Doyle.
Thank you, contest chair. We've been through hard times recently, haven't we, in the last 2 years? And I feel somewhat we're coming out of them, but somewhat we've been all affected by these hard times. One lesson that I've learned is that my happiness is up to me. Not blaming situations or other people, it's up to me. And yesterday, I joined a movement, the Great Resignation. Yes, I went into my boss's office, and yesterday afternoon, I tell the truth, I resigned. I loved working at that place, but I wasn't happy. It was under-resourced, and I couldn't do the things at the standard that I wanted to. And I felt unhappy. So I packed up my identity. I packed up my self-worth in my briefcase, and I am heading out the door. Through these difficulties that I was facing, I've seen a glimmering hope of an opportunity. And by golly, it's really hard to do that. It's hard to leave something when you're so comfortable, and it's so easy to stay and be unhappy. So what I've learned is happiness is up to me. I've taken control of that now. And let me tell you, I slept so well last night. I felt good. So among the difficulties I've been facing the last 6 to 12 months, I saw that opportunity. I grasped that opportunity, and I encourage you, Toastmasters, to do so as well. Thank you, contest chair.
Thank you, Elaine. If we could observe a moment of silence while the judges mark their ballots. Thank you. Our second contestant is Thomas Moore. Thomas, would you like to check your audio and visual?
Can you hear me and see me okay?
Can, yes.
Awesome.
That's great. Thomas Moore, your topic is, in the middle of every difficulty lies opportunity. In the middle of every difficulty lies opportunity. Thomas Moore.
Have you ever just been laying there and thought, maybe it's all just a dream? Maybe I'm just asleep? Well, turns out not all difficulties can be just dreams. I've had many difficulties in my life. Some where it's come to my teaching, some personal. I guess when I'm thinking about a difficulty in particular, the one that comes to mind most of all is when I was teaching many, many years ago. You see, I asked the people in the room, the students, to do a Mexican wave. I said 3, 2, 1, and we went, and we watched it all go around the room. Except there was only 4 people who did it. And this teacher came up to me later and said, Tom, for some reason, the students don't want to connect with you. That right there crushed me, because it was something that I knew was the case, but no one had ever said before. I could have looked at that moment as being a difficulty, that's something I was going to sweep under the rug. But instead, I looked at it as being an opportunity to focus on something that I wasn't the best at, to improve the way that I connect with students. So the next year, I made sure that I worked with one student in particular, and I built that relationship. And over the next few years, I continued to build the relationship over and over again with many students. And now I'm doing a PhD. And guess what the topic is? How to build relationships with kids. Thank you, contest chair.
Thank you, Thomas. If we could please observe 1 minute of silence while the judges mark their ballots. Thank you. Contestant number 3 is Shayla Brunskill. Shayla, would you like to check your audio and visual? Would you like?
Yep, how's that looking?
That looks good. That looks good. Thank you. Our third contestant is Shayla Brunskill. Your topic is, in the middle of every difficulty lies opportunity. In the middle of every difficulty lies opportunity. Shayla Brunskill.
In the middle of every opportunity lies a difficulty. But then if you turn it around, say in the middle of every opportunity, of every difficulty lies opportunity. How does that broaden that whole picture for you? In the past, I would have looked at that statement and thought a difficulty is something that is so hard to overcome, so hard to push through. And I would have probably stepped back away from a difficulty and decided, no, I'm not just going to go there. It's too hard, it's too complex, too many issues involved. But now, when I look at a difficulty, growing older and wiser, I think I'm getting there in that I can start to see the opportunities that lie in a difficulty. My mother recently broke her shoulder and came to live with us. And it was the most horrendous thing you can imagine, to have your mother come and live with you for 3 months. But through that difficulty, there were opportunities. There were opportunities to share with her, to be close to her, to help her. Those sort of things that I would have missed out on in such a huge way had I not taken on that difficulty. So into the future, I think, now that my mother has healed and moved on, when I look into the future, I see that we have now got such a beautiful bond together from that difficulty. So in that difficulty, there lay a huge opportunity for the future for myself and my family. So I encourage you all out there, if you're facing a difficulty, take it head on, take it in your stride, because you never know what there will be as an opportunity out of that situation. Contest Chair.
Thank you, Shayla. Could we please observe a moment of silence for the judges to mark their ballots? Thank you. Thank you. Our fourth contestant is Vinod Nanjaya. Vinod, would you like to check your visual and also your audio?
Okay, can everyone see me?
Yep.
So that means everyone can hear me as well, I would assume.
Yes. Yes,
Thank you.
I can hear you. Our fourth contestant today is Vinod Nanjaya. Your topic is, in the middle of every difficulty lies opportunity. In the middle of every difficulty lies opportunity. Vinod Nanjaya.
Long time ago, which is essentially 4 years ago, I was graduating in my fellowship. For those who don't know me, I'm a doctor. I work in intensive care medicine. And as you all know, intensive care medicine is quite challenging specialty. You are almost working on an emergency line, which is living life in the fast lane. A decision that you make can make or break a patient's life. So I was one of the best in my class of graduates at that point in time. And there was an opportunity that came through, and everyone thought that I was going to get the job. So there was an interview, and I appeared in the interview and I answered the question, and I thought I was very well in the interview and I would get the job. But unfortunately, I didn't get the job. I was so unhappy. Till that time, everything I had planned worked and I was in control. But that day, I felt like I was a failure in life. And I was almost reaching the rock bottom of my life at that. Just one failure, and I was at the rock bottom. And what my consultant told me a few weeks later, when I was doing my work, actually opened my eyes. What he said was, when you hit situations like this, think of your wins, not just the losses. Actually, that gave me strength to stand up and continue to work on skills that I would not have done if I had succeeded and got the job. And I am now an expert in that field. So with every difficulty, there lies an opportunity. We need to pick ourselves up and go forward. Thank you. Over to you, contest chair.
Thanks, Vinod. If you could please observe a minute of silence while the judges mark their ballots. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Our fifth contestant today is Jackson Green. Jackson, your topic is, in the middle of every difficulty lies opportunity. In the middle of every difficulty lies opportunity. Jackson Green.
If I was to describe my life in one sentence, it would be an encyclopedia of mistakes. And I can't stretch my
Can we stop the contest, please? Please stop the
Sorry,
contest.
can we do an audio check?
Yes. Thank you.
Can everyone hear me?
Yes, now we can. Thank you.
All right, so I'll
Please.
begin.
Please restart.
Thank you. If I was to describe my life in one key sentence, it would be an encyclopedia of mistakes. And I can't stretch my arms wide enough to actually exemplify within the filter of the camera just how many mistakes I've made. But with this comes an opportunity. And in the middle of the difficult times, I've actually learned more about myself than during the moments of success. I remember when I was 16 years of age, and what do we do when we're 16? We start driving. And my father took me to a dirt road because he knew, he's a smart man, and he knows that if I'm driving, we've got to do it safely where no one is around. And we sit there for 20 minutes while I stole his manual Subaru car a record 55 times. But on the 56th time, we finally get going, and I put it into first gear and we drive forwards. Then we get to the main road, and this is where the fun begins. About 2 minutes into our drive, he says, "Jackson, in Australia, we drive on the left-hand side of the road, not the right." I wish I was making this up. Further and further on, I start to get a little bit better, but it's clear I'm not there yet. So we come up with a solution. I get a driving instructor. And the good thing about driving instructors are they've got a brake on their side. And boy, did he need to use that brake. He probably had to replace it about 3 times over the course of my lessons with him. But as time went by, I got better and more confident. It was nice to know I could make a mistake and he was there to help. He was there to step in. And through this opportunity, I eventually overcame it and got my driver's license. Sometimes we struggle with difficulties, but there's an opportunity for improvement. And if we take the time to keep questioning, keep learning about ourselves, keep focusing and persevering, the sky is the limit to what we can achieve. Contest chair.
Thank you, Jackson. If we could have a minute of silence for the judges while they mark their ballot. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Our next contestant is Fiona Price. Fiona, would you like to check your audio and make sure that we can see you there?
Sure. Here's a question to actually use the audio. What should I be setting my Zoom to? Should I be setting it to gallery? Should I be setting it to speaker?
You're fine like you are.
Am I? I can see the whole grid of names.
Speaker view is what you should be on.
Which speaker view?
Speaker view.
Okay. All right. That's better. Yeah.
Thank you. Our next contestant is Fiona Price. Your topic is, in the middle of every difficulty lies opportunity. In the middle of every difficulty lies opportunity, Fiona Price.
In the last few years, a lot of difficulty has materialised in the world. Just when we're getting things on track towards and looking forward to the 2020s, a pandemic came out and transformed our world into a 5-kilometre radius time of looking at briefings from the Premier, looking at vaccine records, looking at the number of cases descending upon us. And for many people, especially those like me who have a small business, it was a time of great trepidation. This is particularly difficult for me because for the last 20 years, I've been living off a business which depends on international relocation. I support internationals with their international students. I help people who are relocating abroad to adjust to the new society which they're coming into. So when the borders were suddenly shut and everyone couldn't move and all worried about catching things, the last thing we were thinking about was moving overseas, I looked in despair at my email account where email after email arrived announcing that my work for the year had all been cancelled. So in this time, at first I felt quite excited, but after a while, the fear began to build. But then I thought to myself, actually, for a long time, I've been getting a little bored with my work, which often involves helping people with name pronunciation, which is something Toastmasters often finds interesting at the time of competitions. And I thought, this is actually a time of opportunity. I could branch out, I could start creating things. And so I began to develop new skills. The workshops which I was going to run on cross-cultural communication, I learned how to convert them into Zoom webinars. I joined a business networking organisation, and I'm looking at running presentations now in hotels. I'm looking at giving speeches. I'm looking at converting all my clients, which are mostly universities, into a much broader opportunity in which I can tackle people all around the world from the computer screen. And I discovered this also gave me the opportunity for a lot less stress. Once, if I was going to give a presentation in La Trobe University, I had a potentially hour-and-a-half commute. Now I can walk down to my kitchen table, open the laptop at 9:15 for a 9:30 session. So overall, I like to think that while the pandemic has brought a lot of stress for everyone in the world, it's also brought a lot of opportunity that's there to be seized if you're resourceful enough. Contest chair.
Thank you, Fiona.
Thank you.
Please observe a minute's silence while the judges mark their ballots. Thank you, everyone. Our 7th contestant this morning is Lindy Woodburn. Lindy, would you like to check your audio and visual?
Good morning. Hello.
Hello. Hello. We can certainly hear that, at least I can. Lindy Woodburn, your topic today is in the middle of every difficulty lies opportunity. In the middle of every difficulty lies opportunity. Lindy Woodburn.
Have you ever been in a really hard spot? One of those places where you look for options, but you can't see anything. It might be when you're stuck in a job that you don't like, or perhaps it could be when you've driven your car up the top of Mount Panorama on your lunch break and it's caught fire and you're not quite sure how you're going to get back to work. We all have difficult times. It may be a relationship with someone that you know. The thing is, when we have those really hard times, we go looking for our options. And one of the things that signifies that hard time is this closing in of the walls, this limitation of the options. If things were going well, then surely we'd be able to call a friend, a bit like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? We can call a friend, we can get a lifeline, we can swap out the question. But when we're in those difficulties, those options don't exist, and that's what makes them hard. So the question is, when we are having a hard time, when we're feeling stuck or we're in the middle of some emergency, how do we turn that into opportunity? And quite often it's around being able to look beyond those walls that have been encroaching on you. It's saying, well, actually, maybe there is an option. Maybe there is something I can do. So one of the things we can do is step out of those difficulties, step out of that little confined space that's making it hard and making it feel like there's no option. We can call friends. We can be authentic and vulnerable and let other people know what's going on. We can look for different perspectives. We can do all kinds of hard things. I can remember having one of these moments when I was stuck in a career I didn't like. And it felt like the walls were closing in on me. I wasn't qualified to go and work somewhere else, and I needed the money. By being able to reach out and look at different perspectives, I was able to look at different options. I ended up going back to uni. So hard times are there, but there's always opportunity to find new solutions. Contest chair.
Thanks, Lindy. If we could observe a minute silence while the judges mark their ballots. Thank you. Thank you. Our 8th contestant this morning is Monique Wong. Monique, would you like to check your audio and we can see you there?
Hi Vicky, my name is Monica and I can see the timer.
Thank you. Monica Wong, your topic this morning is in the middle of every difficulty lies opportunity. In the middle of every difficulty lies opportunity. Monica Wong.
I have to start this by saying 3 years ago, I was diagnosed with an rare, untreatable condition. It's called Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. It's a connective tissue which creates problems throughout my body because I have faulty collagen. Receiving that diagnosis was such a huge impact for me, and it was so difficult. It was just something that you never expect would happen to you. Like in my early 30s, I became disabled. I think the strength that I'd learned from that, though, is all the bad things that have ever happened in my life made me stronger. And it's been able to teach me that, yes, I'm disabled now, and yes, things can be so bad, to the point of the last 3 days, I've been in bed. I haven't been able to walk. The opportunity that has come out of that, though, is I'm able to create awareness for people that don't know they have this condition. And if they have issues or medical issues, because people often talk to me about things, I don't know, people like talking to me. They're able to tell me their issues, and I'll be able to say, you know what, this is something that happened to me. Maybe you can go and have it investigated to try and unpack why these things are happening to you. Difficulties come across every person's path. It's part of life. Struggling is just part of life, but it is about how you deal with it. I hope that if you are facing difficulties in your life, that you see the brightness in it somehow, and you can face it. Thank you, Contest Chair.
Thank you, Monique. If we could please now observe silence until the judges have completed their ballots.
Vicky, we're happy to go to our breakout room now. So we'll do all our next bit
Okay.
away from the room, and I'll leave you to it.
Great, thank you.
I'll let you know when they've left the room.
Thanks, Graham.
Okay, the judges have left the room.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, everybody, for making sure that you were muted, and so that we didn't have any interference from background noise. Thanks very much. And I'd like you to join me in congratulating. I know it's difficult because you can put a little reaction up on the screen, clapping hands or something, for all the contestants this morning. Thank you, everybody. I'll now interview the contestants in the order that they spoke in. So if they could just turn on their audio when asked to speak. Our first contestant this morning was Elaine Doyle. You there, Elaine?
Hello, I'm here. Thank you.
Hello,
I've been
hello.
sitting back enjoying all the little speeches this morning. So
Yeah. Okay, for some people, they love to give a prepared speech because they've got time to think about what they want to say. They don't have to do it off the cuff. And table topics are something that's not everybody's cup of tea. But what do you enjoy about doing a table topic?
well, table topics have always been a challenge for me. I'm more of a prepared speaker. I like working with words and finding the right words and you know, just preparing things and just analysing it and preparing it. So to speak off the cuff, all my Toastmasters career, which is fairly long, That's been really tough. So for me to be in this final today is an amazing achievement. So I'm so thrilled to actually be competing with the best in our division. So yeah.
Yeah, that's great. And speaking of division, would you like to tell us what division you're from and what club you belong to?
In this contest, I'm representing Eastern Division and I'm representing Q Toastmasters.
Okay, that's great. So you've told us why you enjoy table topics, but why do you enjoy competing, or what is it about competing that you enjoy?
I think when you compete in a contest, no matter what contest it is, it helps you take your speaking to the next level. So I found that my speaking improvement has been more from the contests rather than the manuals. So yeah, I just find that it's you learn from others and you try to be the best on the day. So you're constantly raising the bar, raising your own performance and just trying to do better and better and better.
Yep. Okay, thank you. And just one more quick question. We all know that everybody has a life outside Toastmasters, believe it or not. What is something that you enjoy doing outside of Toastmasters?
I love going down to the beach and walking down the beach, getting down to Gippsland, where I can meet with my second club, which is Sail Toastmasters, which are awesome as well. But now I'm starting this new job. I don't know how often I'll get down there, but anyway, love getting down the beach. And the theme this convention is great.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Elaine. We'll now move on to our second contestant, was Thomas Moore.
Doodly doodly.
Hello, Thomas. How are you?
Good. Yourself?
Good, thank you.
That's all right.
Which division and club are you part of?
I am part of Bass Division and Funky Town Frankston.
Funky Town Frankston. Oh, I've never heard that before.
You haven't heard that one?
They probably have. But what do you enjoy about doing a table topic?
Absolutely nothing. I can see Richard there giving me the thumbs up. Thanks, Richard. So what do I enjoy about it? So last night I went to sleep I couldn't get to sleep. I was really nervous, and it wasn't about the speech later on today. It was about what table topics is going to throw out at me. And I got to sleep at about 1 o'clock, woke up at 4 a.m. and just wasn't able to get back to sleep because I'm like, what could it possibly be? So I even had props just in case anything wanted to, I had no idea what was going on. I had everything under the sun, and it didn't help out at all.
Yeah, okay. So what do you enjoy about competing?
Competing, the rush. There's something about coming along on the day and giving your absolute very best, and seeing everyone else give their absolute very best, and just having that standard just continually increase. And so it's the rush of being able to do that and know that every single time you step on, if you don't bring your absolute best, then it's not going to work out the way that you want. In saying that, you get a lot from it, even if it doesn't. So with every failure is an opportunity, right, to go back and grow. So
thank you. And just briefly, something that you enjoy doing outside of Toastmasters.
Something I enjoy doing outside of Toastmasters. I'm not able to do too much at the moment. There's a PhD at the moment, but let's say golf. We'll say golf. I sometimes it's great and sometimes it's not, but yeah.
Okay, thanks, Thomas. Our third competitor today was Shayla Brunskill. Shayla, are you there?
Yes, I am.
What club and division do you belong to?
Belong to Central Division, and the club is Revenue Toastmasters.
Okay, thank you. And what do you do? Do you enjoy doing what do you enjoy about table topics?
Oh, just this insaneness of just throwing something off your brain. It's just really, I think, where you're talking about, when you're thinking about what you could speak and how you could say it, it doesn't work for me. I just have to let it just flow off, and it just comes out how it does. And that's what I like about it, just the spontaneity of it.
Yeah, okay. And why do you enjoy competing?
do I enjoy competing? Yes, I do actually. It's a challenge. It's just that real challenge of being up against someone else and thinking, right, well, how can I then change if you're lucky enough to be able to be not last in a contest, speaking, but just how you can change and adapt and just tweak it a little to make it better. Just that, yeah, that sort of thing really appeals to me.
Okay. And outside of Toastmasters, what is it that you like to do?
Oh, I do rock and roll dancing. So, you know, the 50s, 60s, that sort of thing. And that sort of gets all the energy out. And we often go hop in the caravan and go off to rock and roll festivals mainly around South Australia at the moment, because COVID sort of prevented anything else happening. So yeah, that's something I like to do on a different scale altogether.
Okay. Thank you, Shayla. Our next contestant was Vinod. Hi, Vinod.
Hi, Vicky.
How are you today?
Good, thanks.
So which club and division are you part of?
So the division is Southern Division, and I'm a member of South Yarra Toastmasters Club.
Okay, great. And I'll ask you the same question. What is it that you enjoy about table topics?
Table topics is something that I have done as a part of the Toastmasters. Previously, I had not done table topics regularly, but it's the table topics. I think some of the people have already mentioned this. It is, you are surprised by yourself that you have these things in your mind. And when a topic is given to you, you can actually spin it out, take it out and spin it into a story. So I'm taken back by myself when I do something like that. I'm like, wow, how did I do that? I just can't explain it. It's just, I'm so curious to understand what is the process that goes on in my mind when I'm doing the table topics. It is that curiosity and that wow factor that drives me towards table topics.
Okay, thank you. And what is it that you enjoy doing outside of Toastmasters?
Well, as I said in the table topics, I'm a doctor, and I'm an ICU doctor. So apart from taking care of patients, I've got 2 little kids. It's spending time with them and getting them ready to school, which is the most stressful. I didn't realize, I've trained for stress in my life, and just the process of getting them ready for school, getting them to school on time, that just gets my stress level really high. And so those are the things that I do. I'm sure some of you already do. And we heard from Camila and David about how their life is going after they have passed through my life. So they are the things that I do.
Okay, thanks very much, Vinod. The next contestant was Jackson Green. Hello,
Hi.
Jackson. So why do you enjoy competing?
I don't know. I think it's because of the excitement. Like there is a buzz of energy. I guess you're kind of riding the wave of emotion when you're competing. And like you're very nervous, but sometimes people say that fear and nerves and excitement, they're one in the same. And I think the fear and the nervousness together, it does create a really good buzz that I enjoy.
Okay, and why table topics?
Because I don't have to prepare, which is good. I mean, I just show up, and if I get a question I like, great. If not, I do my best to answer it anyway. And that's really all we can do. But it is something I enjoy, table topics, because it's a big mystery from beginning to end.
Yeah, thank you. And something that you enjoy doing outside of Toastmasters?
I enjoy sports. I enjoy playing a bit of ultimate frisbee. That's quite a fun game. And apart from that, I like nature as well. I enjoy going hiking, 1,000 steps, those sort of places. So yeah, probably those 2 things.
Okay, great. Thank you. Fiona.
Yes, hang on a second. Let me turn on my video.
Yeah. So why do you enjoy competing in table topics?
In table topics specifically. I think lately there's a lot of room for creativity in table topics. It's good practice learning how to think on your feet, which is a good life skill. And it also gives you a window for being a bit sort of crazy and creative and trying to make things up on the spot.
Okay. Do you enjoy it more than other, say, the international speech contest?
I think the prepared speeches in many ways are high pressure. As I was saying to my fellow contestants before we competed, there's always the fear that you'll have a memory lapse or go over time in a prepared speech. Whereas in table topics, it's a little less stressful because you can't actually let your speech and yourself down by having a crisis of memory.
Yeah. So which division and club are you part of?
I'm from Metro Division and I'm from Williamstown Toastmasters.
Okay. And one more thing, life outside Toastmasters. I assume that you have one. And
I do.
what's something that you enjoy doing?
I've been particularly embracing songwriting lately.
Oh, what type of songs?
Mostly variations on a theme of pop. So folk pop, pop rock, that sort of thing.
Okay, that's exciting.
It is. Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks, Vicky.
Our next contestant was Lindy Woodburn.
Hi.
Hi, Lindy. How are you doing?
Okay.
Okay, so table topics. What is it about table topics that you enjoy, and why do you enjoy competing in table topics?
I've been listening to everyone else's answers going, now why? Because I'm a sucker for punishment. That's possibly one answer. I think it might also be I think there's a bit of that thrill seeking. I like roller coaster rides too, like that moment where you're sitting there and your adrenaline starts to rise and the floor drops out and suddenly you're just off on this ride, but you at least know there's going to be an end. So table topics and roller coasters have a lot of similarities, and I also enjoy roller coasters. Does that help?
Well, yes, I've never heard that analogy, but it sounds like a good one to me. Which division and club are you from?
Today I'm representing Serbian Knights, which is a corporate club in the inner city division. I'm also a member of Bayside Toastmasters.
Okay.
Today. Sorry, Bayside.
Okay, and what is it that you enjoy doing outside of Toastmasters?
Okay, so again, I'm going to tie these things together. Why I'm doing Toastmaster contest. I have just started learning to play golf, of all things. I've had 5 one-hour lessons, and when you hit that sweet spot, it feels so good and it feels so natural, and table topics is a little bit like that. And I think the challenge is to be able to hit the sweet spot most of the time instead of 10% of the time. And I feel competing helps try to hit that sweet spot more often. Doesn't always happen.
Yeah, no, that's great. Thank you. And our 8th competitor today was Monique Wong.
Hi.
Hi, Monique. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
That's good, thank you. So what is it that you, or why do you compete in table topics? Is it for enjoyment or some other reason?
I don't know if it's I could say it's enjoyment. I don't like trying new things, but we had club contests and I won, so I had to progress. And then I won in the next one, and I won so far in the next one. So I just have to do it. There's no backing out. So
yeah. How long have you been in Toastmasters for?
This is going on my 3rd year.
Okay. And what division and club are you part of?
Area Speakers is my club for the Northern Division.
Okay. And so outside of Toastmasters, what is it that you enjoy doing?
I enjoy sailing. We don't get to do it often enough though, but we do love sailing, my husband and I. And more homebound, cooking. Absolutely love cooking.
Mm-hmm. What sort of food?
Pretty much anything. I make a killer lasagna, and my breads are noteworthy, I think.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you. And that's all the contestants now. If there's anyone that I haven't interviewed, can you please let me know? Do we have the Chief Judge back yet?
We do not.
We do not. Okay. Might just wait for a sec. Okay, the participation certificates will be actually sent to each of the contestants, but I think we'll go through everybody in the order that they spoke in. And were there participation certificates to put on the screen, Graham?
I don't have them, no.
Don't have them, okay. So let's just give our, can we open our, take off our mute button so we can give the applause, or is that okay? Okay. So our first contestant was Elaine Doyle. Please give Elaine a round of applause. And Thomas Moore. Jayla Bunskin. Vinod Nanjaya. Jackson Green. Fiona Price. Lindy Woodburn. And Monique Wong. Thanks, everybody. Do we have Richard in the room?
Yes, we do.
Okay. Richard, would you like to answer this same question as the people that did the table topics contest today?
Which question would that be?
Yeah.
Why I do not
What
like
do you
table
reckon?
topics, which you're giving me right now?
Well, you can tell us why you don't like it, but maybe you can tell us that is there something you like about it?
Oh, there is something I like about it. I like watching others compete in it so that I can sit back and see how well they do. This was a great competition. Thank you all for sharing that little bit of you. The topic was so spot on for not only your conference theme, but for what I'm going to be talking about in just about 45 minutes. I do like table topics for the most part because, as I heard, you don't have to worry about losing your train of thought, your memory, if you've memorized a speech, which has happened to me upon occasion. I don't like that feeling, but it also gives you a chance to have freedom of thought. Because of whatever the question is, you can do with it what you want. So for me, there's a little bit of both sides to that, the enjoyment of having freedom, a little bit of the trepidation of not knowing what you're going to be asked. But that's our daily lives. We don't know what we're going to be asked and we have to deal with it. So thank you for sharing. There's some really deep conversations that came out of just that small question in 2-minute responses. Very well done.
Did you enjoy, did you take the leadership track? We know that you're the immediate past international director, but did you compete and then take the leadership track, or did you decide to go the leadership track?
You know, that's an interesting question. I had never thought about taking the leadership track. Someone asked me for help and I agreed to help them out. It was right after I started competing. I was only in Toastmasters for 6 months and I had made district level in the Tall Tales speech contest. And then I took on this leadership role, not realizing that I couldn't compete anymore. So now I've built up all these libraries of speeches. So eventually when I get out of this position of leadership, not that I want to leave it, but I also want to get back into that competition mode. For those of you who don't know, I'm a professionally licensed race car driver. So competition is kind of a good thing for me. I do like that piece of it.
Yeah, okay. Do we have the Chief Judge?
Back in the room.
Okay.
So Graham, you're all good to go?
Do we have the results? I don't have the results.
Oh, well, I should send them through to you as well, Vicky. That would
Thank
be very
you.
important.
Thank you.
Let me just forward that to you. Gosh, fancy forgetting the most important announcer.
Okay. Do I have them in the chat?
You have them in a text message.
Oh, okay. I won't be a moment, everybody.
Just remember to go
Yep,
the
3,
opposite
2, 1.
order. Yeah.
Okay. Well, congratulations, everyone. However, in third place today, we have Elaine Doyle.
Congratulations, Elaine.
In second place today, we have Fiona Price. And in first place, we have Jackson Green.
Woohoo, Jackson!
Whoa, I wasn't expecting that.
That was a great answer.
Thanks, Judy.
And there were no time disqualifications. Thank you.
I'll now thank you everybody that participated today, for the judges, for the ushers, timers, tally counters, everybody, Graham, our Zoom master. And I now hand back, who do I hand back to?
Are you going to take photos, Vicky?
Or
Vicky,
you want me to take photos?
Chief Judge and the 3 placed contestants?
Yep, we can do that.
I think the Zoom master usually spotlights them.
Yes, who's taking, who's going to take the photo?
I can take the photo.
Rita can and Heath can. Not Heath, yeah, or Heath, definitely.
Okay, so Namrita's going to take the picture.
Fiona, can you turn your video on, please? There you go.
Hold on.
And Elaine is there as well. All righty, there we go, everybody.
Are we ready?
Come on, you can smile, Jackson.
Come on, Jackson.
Yes.
Well done.
Perfect. Thank you. You got that one?
Thank you. Photo taken?
Yes.
Okay, thanks. Thank you, everyone. I'll now hand back to, who am I handing back to?
And back to Heath.
Heath. Back to you, Heath. Thank you.
Thank you, Vicky. That was a fantastic table topics contest. It's a great way to start off the conference. Now, obviously, the next thing we have is the keynote at 11:30. So we'll have a little bit of a break here. We'll join you. It will be in a different Zoom room. So we'll see you at 11:30. Thank you, everyone, for coming along. Thank you, of course, everyone, for all your help behind the scenes, all the judges, all the counters and timers, and all those important things. And of course, our contest chair, Vicky, and our Chief Judge, Sue. Thank you. Thank you all. We'll see you at the keynote at 11:30.